Hey everybody, Brandon Jones here from GameTrailers.com. I'm joined by Mr. Daniel Bloodworth,
Hey.
Managing Editor is your official title.
Yeah.
Speaking of new official titles, this has been a weird year, and have we done this before? Just kind of set people up for our Game of the Year awards,
Probably not.
which we are renaming to start off on the ways that this awards will be different than previous awards. So we're renaming it, first of all. We are officially calling it the Game Trailers Best of 2014 Awards. Tempting to call it the Game Trailers Awards, but then it sounds like we're giving awards to Game Trailers.
Right.
It's funny how you change like a name here or there, and it totally changes the definition of the thing. So yeah, as you guys potentially being longtime fans of Game Trailers are aware, it has been a very unusual year for the website. We moved from Viacom to Defy this summer, and as such, lost a lot of people that have not only been a part of the Game Trailers year-end awards ceremonies and proceedings, but also reviewed a lot of the games that we were going to consider for our Best of 2014 awards. So first and foremost, if there's any score discrepancies, that we just threw that out the window. We're like, okay, if someone reviewed a game that we're now deliberating and that person's not even here anymore, we can't consider that person's score.
Well, we did to an extent, but yeah, I mean, I think probably one of the prime examples was Wolfenstein, and Justin was a little bit lower on that game than some of the people that are still here.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, that game probably got more of an attention, more of a boost here at the end of the year than if we had just been considering the scores alone.
Which plays up something that I've always felt about awards, which is, if you're doing something like the Academy Awards, it's like, or the Game Awards, you're getting a lot of people involved in this. You're getting a lot of people from different countries and different brands and different publications and stuff like that to all put their collective opinion on something. But, to put emphasis on the Game Trailers in Game Trailers Best of 2014 Awards, these are the awards reflective of our staff. I mean, we really all kind of came together. I believe there were 10 total people that weighed in on what the awards would be. And it was really interesting to not feel that we really got to the point of yes, that's clearly the game of the year. It was like, no, okay, we've all kind of gotten to know each other, a lot closer, working together stressfully trying to get through this review season and wrapping things up at the end of the year. And so to sit back and figure out what were our favorite games of the year, and when it did come down to a vote, what games were on top.
Yeah.
So
and some long discussions as always. I mean, that part hasn't changed. We have different people in the room. But man, the discussions still go on just as long.
Because it became cliche. Because good old Shane Satterfield, used to manage a lot of the the award ceremonies every year, and it became cliche when you guys would stroll out of there. Because I would drop in for trailer. I'd come in and be like, "These are the best trailers of the year." We'd all go up to a vote, and then I'd leave. I remember one year I stuck around for an action adventure because I was like, "Oh, I've actually played most of these games." But normally I abstained from a lot of those votes, and you guys would come out and like, "Whoa, that was really tough." And it just seemed kind of like a joke. It's like, oh, of course it's tough because it's, deliberation, but you guys don't really get into it. And you have to. You have to offend people. You have to say brutal things. It just comes out of you. It just absolutely brings out the worst in people. But it is, I don't know, it's a blood sport. It's I think that's why it's so exciting. Hopefully for the people at home watching, it's exciting for us to kind of force ourselves to come to that decision. And definitely some surprise wins, and definitely some games that weren't necessarily on my radar I didn't get to experience that were thought of very highly.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're doing 19 categories,
Yeah.
which you'd think, I think 19, I think that's legit, because you think we hit 19, it's like, well, we got to do one more just to have 20. But no, we either did not have time or did not find...
There are some that we didn't do, I ended up not doing Best Racing Game because, I think it was sort of not a lot there to really grab onto. And then Best Score, I just didn't have time for it. I loved, doing music category the past few years and I want to bring it back. But to me, it was I had a feeling my conscience just wasn't there. I can't, if I didn't hear half of these really great scores, I don't want to actually put my foot down and say, this is the best. And
right.
Oh, did you hear that? And oh no. That was the best.
Which again, if we're saying up front that these categories are not going to be included in our Best of 2014, of course, open to comments of you guys hitting us up on Twitter and Facebook and in the comments below of what you thought were your favorite racing games and your favorite game scores or game soundtracks of the year.
And the other thing I should introduce, we're doing personal picks videos. Every day that the awards are going up, we're going to have a video with one or two of us going through what highlights stood out to us just individually. And I think that's been another big part of what's changed over the past year is we've got more people, on camera and more people involved in different ways. And I just think there's something that made sense.
because again, that kind of reflects how I feel that we're not definitively saying like, well, this is absolutely the best game of the year. It's like, this was the Game Trailers pick. This was, if you were to isolate just us as a group of gamers, these were the games that we picked. And so the personal picks are really great because it's nice to get everybody's perspective on that. And if maybe gives people a chance to let off a little steam. They're just like, I'm still a little bit salty about that one category or that one pick that I would put a little more love on before it's all said and done and we're moving on officially into 2015. I just got to put, a little nudge out there. Didn't fight for Disney Infinity 2.0 as much as I thought I would. So let's get into the categories.
Yeah,
just to
so the
kinda list
categories
things
we've got, and I've got these scheduled out, so I hope there's something interesting for you every day. But we've got best multiplayer, best expansion, which covers all of the expansions that a game had in the year, not just a single one. And it also covers like all the extra categories like DLC and stuff. So don't think of it like a Sims box expansion or something. Best fighting game, best shooter, best puzzle/adventure. We wanted to kind of combine those two ideas of the old point-and-click adventure and puzzle games. We thought those kind of fit together really well.
Best game where you actually think.
And yeah, better as a combined category than trying to like separate like, well, is this game that or is it this,
Right.
And that kind of thing. Best platformer. We actually had a surprising number of games that fit just the pure platformer style at the end of the year. Best strategy game, best action-adventure game. Role-playing, we kept most disappointing in there. There was some people that were saying, no, don't do it, but no, we got to do it. We got to do it.
And I just for the record, actually, I just want to point out that one of our new team members, who I love and adore, Andre Renee, was actually like, why would you be negative? He's like, it's the end of the year, it should be positive. But I love that so much. I actually, there were a lot. We gave a lot of games this year, somewhere between like the 7 and 9 range, and it just, whenever I get a 3.5 or whenever I get a 4 or something, like as the one who reads, provides voiceover for all the scripts, like it's such a treasure. I really enjoy those because it's like, let's get into it. And again, it's by most disappointing. We'll mention this in the video as well. We're not talking about the worst game.
Right.
It's the game that we had the highest expectations for, that we were surprised, lacked the quality that we were anticipating.
And every year, those actually end up being pretty good games. They just
and
weren't as
a
good
lot
as
of
we
it just
wanted
plays
them.
on our stupid anticipations. But again, factors into us expressing our opinions as a editorial group.
We have a best independent game this year, best handheld exclusive, which is kind of a weird name, but it's Vita and 3DS is what's in there. Best Wii U exclusive, best multi-platform game, which isn't rewarding a game for being on multiple platforms. It's
Right.
just, these are the games that, like, they don't owe their allegiance to anybody.
Right.
Like, they're out there, you can get them, hopefully on something that you own. And they're not specific to one console or another. And then we have best PC exclusive, Xbox exclusive, PlayStation exclusive. Those two, we kind of crossed the generations.
Right.
Because, there's not that many 360
Which
or
will probably be the last
PS3
year that we'll do that.
exclusives yet.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then your best trailer, which
Right.
we still have to work on. And then, of course, Game of the Year.
Best trailer takes time. I got my picks down to like 25 to 30 trailers, in 5 minutes each.
And
Like,
that's another reason
that's
why.
an afternoon right there.
That's another reason why we don't have a music category this year. I mean, it's like, first, I've got to go through all that mess and figure out what's worth, and then I got to present it to everybody and let them
You need
cut it down.
you need a podcast called Let's All Go to the Soundtrack. And as long as you do that every week, you'll have a list that you can just go back and reference. And a special thanks actually to people that reached out to me on Twitter and had really good suggestions for best trailer. And best trailer is usually right in the middle of this year, but I love, leave it to the founder to be editor-in-chief now, and trailers like now the main event. Right.
Oh, you might notice no best graphics this year.
Yeah, graphics and story. Narrative was another one that we avoided this year, possibly because we felt we were kind of rushed and we didn't really get a chance to experience other games. But they're, very subjective. It just wouldn't, we were,
Well, not just that it's subjective, but I think it was one of those things where when I looked at the best looking games of this year, I'm like, what did I really want to argue for? And I'm like, I don't. It's like, I know Infamous looks great, I know Drive Club looks great, but
yeah,
what?
I thought, everybody was, pooping all over Unity for having all these glitches, but the interiors were just absolutely gorgeous. Far Cry 4 looked really great. It's not something, with the jump from 4.3 to, widescreen you know, the jump to new consoles is just not, I don't know, not focus. And something that I think more than anything, got the most thumbs down when we put up previous views, because like a lot of times we would give it to something that we felt artistically didn't like. Kirby win one year, Kirby's Epic Yarn.
That was at E3.
Yeah.
People mix that up with Game of the Year, but yeah, it was E3.
But again, it's you have something like that, and again, it's kind of, you know, fits more into personal taste and actually saying like what has the best frame rate, what absolutely runs the best. And obviously, like if you played a game on PC or I played a game on PC, they might look different. And so it's interesting when we were talking about the different nominees. Like you can see it in people's faces when they would suggest something. You know, the difference between like doing best Vita game and best 3DS game, or combining the categories. Approaching 3DS game just on its own, like you could tell the look in Michael Damiani and Kyle Bosman's face. They're just kind of like, you know, it's like, I just don't feel that passionate where like all of these ideas are flooding into my head. And when we talked about narrative, it was like none of us were really excited about jumping into that conversation because, I don't know, we have many different tastes, and it just didn't seem like something that we were gonna be able to.
There's something about this year that it didn't stand out as well, you know?
Yeah, and I think that changes every year. I think it's really tough to kind of get locked into a system of categories and do the, you know, Xerox copy categories every single year. You kind of have to adjust and change, which is why we're doing the video, to inform you of what's up with the GameTrailers Best of 2014 awards. This is our first trial. You and I planning this thing, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see. That was the order that you heard. So if you're curious, check the programming schedule. We laid it out of the order we're going to be releasing these things. We'll have one a video starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So tune in to GameTrailers.com. Have a wonderful holiday, and I hope you had a wonderful 2014. Anything else you want to touch on before we get cracking with our awards?
Yeah, I think let's get the show started. See
Yeah,
you tomorrow at noon.
And there's going to be hate. There's nothing we can do about it, because we're inevitably going to pick a game that you didn't like, or we're going to just completely ignore something that you thought, and all of that ire, all of that angst, all of that frustration. We want to hear it. So leave it in the comments for all the videos. Let us know on Facebook and Twitter, and have a wonderful rest of the 2014. See you next year.